I'll talk more about tabernacles in a second, but it is Sukkot, tabernacles. You know, that feast in the Bible that it says if the people around the world, the nations, don't come here to honor God in this season, they won't get rain. You know, but everyone's putting up their tabernacles all over Israel. There's one even in Gaza now. Our soldiers put one up in Gaza. It's the first time since, we used to live there, 21 cities that Jewish people were in Gaza, and they had tabernacles. Now they're gone. All 21 cities are gone since 2005 when we completely exited Gaza entirely. But that didn't bring peace, did it? Look what's happening now. But hey, I got the call. All of our guys got the alert. We're going into Lebanon again last night, and there's this big shaft of, we got to find out exactly where these the layer of Hezbollah is. Turns out this 800-meter facility. Now, I don't know if that was my mission, but there's an 800-meter facility, living quarters of the Hezbollah, of that Radwan force. Again, that's the conquest the Galilee, invade the Galilee force. And they had stockpiles of food, weapons, motorbikes, all part of the invade the Galilee, take over my home. You have this hero, Noam and Michael, two soldiers, the heroes, both of them. And they discovered this shaft, and a terrorist started shooting at them. Heard there was even a sniper that was shooting. Michael was hit in the head and he fell near the shaft. Noam, he's under fire. He's trying to pull Michael to safety and prevent his body from getting kidnapped. A grenade is thrown from the shaft. The Hezbollah throws a grenade on our guys and injures Noam's leg. They have to amputate his leg later. And other soldiers that are around sustained injuries. And it was like an 800-meter long tunnel with all these motorcycles and everything. And we got to pray that Noam gets better. I mean, this stuff, how long will this continue? I remember the days where tabernacles was just like a great time of hanging out with family in the sukkah. I remember the end of the last tabernacles is when this war began. I was there rolling the scroll back, to the beginning. That's what we do. We start reading the whole Bible through again. And right now, we're busy. I mean, the troops are going from the town of Kuza in the south and moving forward to towns like Ramia and Atiyash and the Shah border, and pushing further and further into Lebanon. It's still not a major operation, but let me tell you what, it's going forward. And I hear people calling for ceasefire, and I'm like, no, say we need to finish the job. They should be calling for us to finish the job. Yes, it's crazy that millions and millions and millions of dollars of Hezbollah cash was bombed in the Dahaya bombings. And I believe that it's millions. That probably put Hezbollah into a bit of a financial strain there. And so now 21 villages are being evacuated in Lebanon, and we're asking them, back away. We don't want you to be injured. We just need Hezbollah to stop shooting us and move back. It's unbelievable what happened when the 4 soldiers died as Hezbollah shot the Golani army base. It's unbelievable. 67 soldiers injured, 4 died. And you got UN complaining Israel's moving too close to the UN base, disregard for the UN base. Well, they have been doing literally nothing. How has their observation towers help us to be protected in the north? How have they observed and reported on all this terrorist activity? None. Really thankful for the United States that sent us the THAAD, the THAAD system to take out rockets in space. I talked about it a little bit before. It's this very high-level battery that's supposed to shoot down ballistic missiles, because everybody's wondering, will it be tonight? Will it be tomorrow? When will it be? On the very end of Tabernacles, is that when it'll happen, where Israel will have to strike Iran and Iran will then strike back? What's going on in Syria? In the Quneitra, Israel entered deep into Quneitra in Syria, and there was all kinds of Russian forces that evacuated 17 positions in Syria, including Tel el-Harar. You see that from the Golan Heights. And they reached the village of Kudna in Quneitra. And so, but there's so many stockpiles of weapons. There's so many broad daylight bringing it in. Iranian stockpiles of weapons, all aimed at us, all aimed at my home. Not cool. Iran is going to have to stop this or else, And so we're really making some milestones. We're making some headway, but the situation is very volatile in Lebanon. Very volatile. They're escalating their attacks. As you saw what happened with these Golani soldiers, 67 injured, 4 dead. It is not cool. We're going to keep backing them off. Not just the 21 Lebanese villages, we're going to say move away from, you got to exit the entire southern Lebanon and fulfill the mandate of the UN, 1701, where they're not allowed to be anywhere past the Litani River. And they're Hezbollah drones, they're UAVs. It can't happen. I do want to say their names. I do want to take a moment and say their names of the 4 soldiers who fell and honor them. Sergeant Omri Tamari, 19 years old, from Maskeret Batia. Sergeant Yosef Haib, 19, from Tuba Zangaria. Sergeant Yoav Agmon, 19, from Binyamina. And Sergeant Alon Amitai, 19, from Ramot Naftali. And it's in a training base, actually. And it's just so sad to see what's happened. I want to say this, guys, about tabernacles right now. We'll talk more about tabernacles, about Sukkot, but you have this commandment, Deuteronomy 16, verse 13. It talks about to be joyful. You got to be joyful in the midst of sorrow right now. Leviticus 23, verse 33 to 43 talks about 7 days. You got to rejoice before God. You got to do it. Numbers 29, it talks about in the 7 days, there's burnt offerings, there's grain offerings, there's the harvest. You're giving God the best of your harvest. You're thanking God. That's where Thanksgiving came from, I believe, from this festival. You know, Columbus was Jewish. I believe that this is where it came from. Nehemiah 8, it talks about they forgot about Sukkot and they remembered it, and they had such a great revival in Sukkot, tabernacles. And I'm saying tabernacles in English, in Hebrew is Sukkot. Zechariah 14, it talks about if you don't join us for Sukkot and for the Feast of Booths, the Feast of Tabernacles, you don't come to Israel, you won't get rain in your nation. And you just see the joy when Solomon celebrated it. You see how really there's this water libation, the water of life, you know. And I want to tell you guys, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Isaiah 41. Don't be afraid. I am with you. I will strengthen you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Happy tabernacles through all this. Happy tabernacles.